Moment we've been waiting for is right here. The match commissioner, Mr. Osita Iro from Ebonyi State, leading other match officials, and the
coming behind you there. Welcome on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Well, time to take you to the world of sports. We quickly look at activities happening in the beach volleyball taking place in Kaduna State. President Cup, where a lot of games were actually played yesterday. We'll be looking at that first story. Beach volleyball, Kaduna Customs pick quarterfinal ticket at President's Cup. That's the first story now as we look at activities in the world of beach volleyball. And I have in the studio and the person of Emmanuel Fashion. Good to have you.
It's a nice one being here today. As it stands for the beach volleyball, we've seen a lot of results and quite interesting results. And for the women, we know the women, they are not much. We have a lesser team in the women's category, and then we have more in the men's category. So for the women, it's a good one. It has been a good showpiece, and I'm quite happy that we have some teams from the FCT who are we have a lot of teams from the FCT who are participating in the beach volleyball. Like we mentioned on Monday that from this place, some players will be picked and then for the national assignment, which they are being groomed for, so that we can actually have pick our Olympic ticket, because we came close the last time, but we lost that ticket from the championship we went to. So this time around, I believe with all hands on deck and everybody, all stakeholders coming in, supporting that particular federation, I believe we can pick the ticket this time around.
Well, from the way it is right now, Kaduna State is the place to be over there concerning President's Cup. That's the beach volleyball ongoing there. Let's look at some of the results of those games that actually played. Looking at the 3 results now, talking about the 2023 President's Cup volleyball cup there taking place. We have FCT against Katsina, where it ended 2-0 in favor of FCT, rather Katsina there. Plateau Peacock against Pro Spikers, also in favor of Pro Spikers. They won in the first quarter 21-13, 21-4. Flourish VC versus Philcom. Actually, they won that game also. Philcom won 2-0 there. Kada Emirates against Plateau Peacock also favored Kada Emirat 21-2, 21-7 to make it 2-0, while Philcom defeated FCT 21-15, 21-15. In the under-17 boys, Flourish lost against FCT. It was the time to take their own pound of flesh there. Philcom against Giant Spikers ended in favor of Philcom, won 2-1. 1. Kada Stars, Katsina Spikers 2-0 there. Pro Spikers, Philcom also ended in favor of Pro Spikers. In the men's category, you have Kaduna State versus Nigerian Customs Service, 2-0 in favor of Kaduna State. Actually, they are the host of the event ongoing over there in Kaduna State. Let's look at the quarterfinals. Quarterfinal is right now when it comes to this particular competition taking place in Kaduna. We have the 2023 President Beach Volleyball, the quarterfinal for men. YMC will be facing Nigerian Customs Service. Life Camp FC will be facing Kaduna State. Kada Stars, Desert Warriors, and you have Nile University versus Nigerian Correctional Service. Those are the 8 teams that will be fighting for honors in the men's quarterfinal. Now, for the women, they are already in the semi-final. They have Nigerian Customs Service versus Nigeria Ravens, and you have Hasso Queens versus Kaduna State. The 4 teams will be fighting for semi-final in the women's category of this particular competition. I love the fact that you have a lot of new teams participating in this competition.
Yes, new teams, because when this competition came up, when the window was opened, it was thrown open for a lot of new teams to come in. And for the Vipers from FCT, it is just a new team. It was formed, I think that was last year when this team was formed. But look at how far they have gone. Look at what they've done so far in just the space of a year plus. So it's a good one that we're having a team, not just one, a lot of them from the FCT, and everything started from the Jabi Lake, because the last time out when this event was hosted, it was at the Jabi Lake, and a lot of players were being scouted from that place. So I'm happy that we have our own in the women's category. We have in the semi-final, and you know, the names we have: Nigeria Customs. These are regular names we see in this event, but it's a good one now when I have other teams that are not just maybe the Nigerian Custom, which is being owned by the government, but now we have private teams, individuals owning a team that are participating in the event.
We continue to give you updates concerning that particular competition. The president coming on that sport called beach volleyball taking place in Kaduna State. Away from volleyball now, we'll move straight to talk about the MPFL, the match involving Akwa United versus Gombe United. It was a peep, actually peep Gombe over there in Uyo by Uche Collins, who scored that goal, the one you saw earlier, that particular visuals there. Good one for Akwa United. They were able to at least win that particular match, and that has pushed them ahead. Let's look at the way the table is standing in Group A, talking about the match that was actually remaining in that group. Looking at MPFL now, well, Akwa United, they've jumped from 5th position now ahead of Remo Stars by the chance of having goal difference of 4. Bende Insurance are still topping, but Akwa United now, they won in that game and they got 3 points. And you look at them, they have 14, and Remo Stars are having 1-14. So right now, Akwa United, Remo Stars, Plateau United seems to be fighting between 3rd to 5.
Yes, over the weekend, I said the table was going to change, and now we've seen the change of table after the results. And for Plateau United, they've jumped to the 3rd position, just standing there in the 3rd by goal difference from what you mentioned. And for Akwa United, they were thinking they will be able to add to their number of goals to go back. They were in 3rd position before the weekend matches, but because they couldn't add to it, now they are on 4th. And the league is gradually taking shape. We are in the 2nd phase of the average league, 18 matches. Now they finished the 1st phase. Now is the 2nd phase, where we now have to have the top 3 teams that will play in the Super 6 to at least to actually ascertain the champions of the season and those who will play in the continent. So it's a good one that the MPFL is being competitive. Sometimes ago, I was discussing with somebody that it's as if the average league is something I'm falling in love with, because the competitiveness in the average league, when it's a normal league, is not as competitive as this, because in the normal league where you have about 38 matches, you see teams don't look so serious, but this time around every team is taking every match as if it's the Super 6 they are playing. And now we've seen a lot of away wins. We've had more than 5 away wins in the season already. It was being the floodgate was opened by Bendel Insurance, a team that has started the season very well. Their first match against Akwa United in Uyo, they went there and defeated Akwa United 2-0 away. And we've seen a lot of away wins from the league this season. And also we've seen the biggest win of the season from Plateau United over the weekend. 5-0, they trashed El Kanemi Warriors. That is the biggest score margin for all the matches they've played so far this season. So we've seen 3 goals, we've seen 2, we've seen 1, we've seen draws, some home draws, away draws. So it's good that our league is being competitive, so that when we go to the continent, we have something to show. It's not good that all our teams crashed out from the continent, leaving no Rivers United, and right now they are on the brink of also not making it out of the group. If they don't make a statement against ASEC Mimosa by weekend, then it's going to be a big trouble.
We're actually focusing on Akwa United versus Gombe United there. That match saw Uche Collins scoring that particular goal, and really they celebrated in a very funny way. But really, football is getting better in Nigeria. We just have to admit, all of us can add our own to make sure football get better, and also other sports. I've been giving you update concerning the MPFL to conclude the match day 8. The match day 9 will be where they will play that, and afterwards they will go on holiday before they will resume again for their Bridge League, the Super 6, where the 3 top teams in each group will fight for honor to see who wins the MPFL. 100 million naira on ground for the winner of the MPFL this season. And also to let you know that the women last match was actually played too over there in Owerri between Heartland Queens versus Naija Ratels of FCT, where Naija Ratels were able to win that game. It was a good one for them. They won that game. Talking about that story there, Naija Ratels beat Heartland Queens in Owerri. Well, I love the fact that they went there, they saw the conquer 2-0. What happened to Heartland Queens?
Well, for Heartland Queens, we can call them the baby, though they are no longer babies, because they've spent 1 full season, and this is their 2nd season in the NWFL. And for Naija Ratels, you know, this is a team that is not even up to 5 years when we started in Abuja here, and their 4th season in the NWFL. They were in the Super 6 also for the to crown the women's champion, and that is to tell you they've actually done well, being coached by the under-17, the Flamingos coach Lou. So for Naija Ratels, going to pick that vital away win in Owerri, it gives them the confidence to go further in the season, and let's see if they can still make the Super 6 at the end of the season, and which is going to be a good one. We already have a female team in the NWFL, so it's not left for the guys to follow suit. And for Naija Ratels, they are not doing bad at all. For a team to, for the 1st season, qualify for the Super 6, that's to tell you they are moving in the right order.
And when it comes to football in the women angle, really they are doing well. You look at what they achieved so far for Nigeria when it comes to international tournaments. Well, right now, talking about Naija Ratels, who were able to defeat Heartland Queens at home in Owerri. Let's look at how their own table is actually standing in Group A. For the fact that their match was standing as an outstanding. Now, let's look at that table there. Well, Naija Ratels now they've upstaged Rivers Angels in third, to pushing them down by just a step. They are ahead with a goal difference of 3. They have the same point of 10. Well, Rivers Angels, they have -1. If you look at Naija Ratels now, they are trying to push. They still have about 7 points behind Delta Queens, and they have 5 points behind Bayelsa Queens, who are also see how they can upstage Delta Queens in this particular group. A tough one, but it is very, very achievable. Heartland Queens right now, they have 8 points alongside Royal Queens, who plays in Sapele. You have Osun Babes of Oshobo with 6 points, 2 adrift Royal Queens in this particular group.
Yeah, for Naija Ratels, they still have a game in hand. They've played 7 games, while Rivers Angels, who is closing following, they have played 8. And that is, if they play the game in hand, they will actually
if they win,
if they win the game in hand, they will actually give that gap again to Rivers Angels. So for Naija Ratels, this season already they are making a statement. They will, because sometimes ago I met with the coach. They said their target is to also make the Super 6, and then they can be thinking of winning the league. Their first appearance in the Super 6, it wasn't a bad outing for them anyway, because that was their first time. But this time around, I think they've learned a lot of lessons when they went to Benin. And if they make the cut this time, which is possible, like you said, because with the way they are playing, they have a game in hand. If they win that game, then I think they will be comfortable on the table in the group, and they're hoping that other results that they will, other matches go their way. Then who says they cannot be the champions of the season, and then they go to represent Nigeria in the continent.
Although it's going to be a tough one, but it's achievable. But you look at Rivers Angels. Rivers Angels seems to be dropping kind of form. Their form is dropping because you look at this season, they were defeated by Osa Queens. They were defeated by a lot of clubs have really dealt with them, but they seems to be losing that particular grip of always being at the top of the NWFL.
If you look at this time around, I think a lot of the players, some of their key players, left the team. They went for greener pastures in Europe. I think that has affected them because these are some of the players who have stayed together for long and they understand the team play, which they are supposed to work on, have replacement for them, and which has always been a problem of Nigerian club side. Once their player leaves, to get that replacement is always been difficult. They need to have a program on ground that when this leaves, somebody else is there to take over. So for Rivers Angels, and two, I think they have aging players. They need fresh legs. They need to inject fresh players into that team, because if you look at their performance in the continent when they went to represent Nigeria in the maiden edition of the CAF Women's Champions League, their performance was not really what Rivers Angels should have given in that tournament, winning just one, losing 3 games in their group. So but like I said, they need to replace those aging players, because right now, if you look at other teams, like most especially the Nigeria Ratels, we have younger players who are fast on the ball. So they need to at least checkmate their team.
I saw a particular clip that has to do with Motsepa Pembe from Congo thereabout, where the referee was being pursued by ladies, not even
a guy.
Not even men's football. Women were running after the referee. In fact, what is wrong with African football? Seriously? When you are thinking, okay, maybe this only happened in Nigeria, this one, they were running after the man. He escaped the first person, the second one, the third one, they captured him and he received the beating of his life. And I can imagine what will happen, because really, CAF need to do something about this. Yeah, that video has been going viral.
It's when we say hooliganism in football, I think we still experience that in this part of the world. Beating up referees. I think the players, the fans, need to understand this is sports and this is football, and the referees also, they are humans.
They can make errors.
They can make errors. So error is bound to happen in any sphere of life, also in sport. So if those errors comes, you, as a sports person, we always say sportsmanship. You take it, and then probably when they go back to their, because after every game they review these games, and then they have to tell them this and what you've done. We've seen that couple of times, but I think we need to outgrow that stage here in Nigeria, and even in Africa. This not in Nigeria alone, in Africa and Nigeria, that we need to stop beating up referees. These referees are human. Someday it might be your brother, it might be your sister who is the center referee, and if he or she gets the beating of his life, what will you say about that? So we need to outgrow all of this.
Well, from the way it is right now, something must be done concerning football in Africa. We need to really change our mentality. I don't know how it will look like if a referee that referee games over there in England is beaten up by players. But seriously, something must be done. You can throw things in, you can do so, but not beat up the ref. Well, just giving you update concerning NWF and also MPFL, where Nigeria Ratels and Akwa United, they were on the trial side and they were able to get those 3 points at stake while they played those matches. Now let's go to Europe as we give you results from the Europa League. Europa League matches were played. A lot of Europa games actually came on just yesterday. Now let's quickly look at the results from that particular angle of football, where Ajax against Union Berlin ended 0-0. But Barcelona, they were able to score 2, but Manchester United, they also make it 2. So 2-2 it was. Their own was in a stalemate. They show class that both of them belong to the big bigger boys in the UEFA Champions League. But right now, they are fighting in the Europa League. Red Bull Salzburg 1-0 against AS Roma. Jose Mourinho got beaten there. You have Shakhtar Donetsk 2-1 against Rennes. Leverkusen 2, Monaco got 3, Nantes 1, Juventus 1. It was a tough one for Juventus as Moses Simon team were able to share the spoil with them. Sevilla 1-2-3 against PSV Eindhoven. They won that game, and FC Midtjylland, they actually drew against Sporting Lisbon 1-1 in that game. Let's focus on Barcelona Manchester United, a game that was at least the icing on the cake for this particular Europa League.
Yes,
a lot of expectations.
The two big boys in Europe yesterday actually clashed, and let's not forget that this same Barcelona and Manchester United, these two teams have always met in the European competitions. They've met 11 times competitively, and Barcelona sharing the highest of win. But for Manchester United, we can say in 1999 when they won the Champions League, they won it in Camp Nou. And last night for Xavi, because when I saw that lineup for that game against Manchester United, I don't know why Xavi has to go for that kind of lineup against a Manchester United team that has not lost 6 matches in Europe this season. They've won all. So and against the Manchester United also, who has been doing well in a way when it comes to the European League this season. So last night they came up with their A game. Rashford giving Manchester United that left line after Alonso gave Barcelona the lead, and Rashford stepped up and they got that equalizer before that own goal. And it was I think at the end of the game, Barcelona had to come out smoky. Manchester United, it was an end-to-end game, both of them throwing everything they have at each other, and I love what happened last night in Camp Nou. So I think they will have that opportunity again when they meet in the reverse fixture. But for Manchester United, I think they missed the services of Martinez at the back line, because he wasn't really there to close out those shots, those spaces at the back line that allowed Barcelona to penetrate, and they got that equalizer just when they needed it. So 2-2 it ended yesterday.
Well, we just have to give you concerning that Europa League. There are a lot of activities in the world of sports. We've been giving you those details there. Well, Emmanuel Fashemi, thank you very much for coming on the show.
It's been my pleasure.
I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.